So this is multiple choice, so there's quite a few questions on here, but one theme that I notice is the word zeros. So when I see this, I'm going to look at the question and focus on the zeros. So I know that the zeros are -1, 4, and -3. That means I have 3 zeros. And what it's saying is that I have a constant in front. That's what K stands for. Now let's pretend I had a 7 here. If I had a 7 there, would it affect the number of zeros I had? No, it wouldn't. And that's because you're trying to find x, and this 7 doesn't help you find x. Now, if it said 7x, x plus 1, x minus 4, x plus 3, you wouldn't actually just have 3 zeros. You would have a 4th zero. But they're saying that you only have 3 zeros. So now that I know that I have 3 zeros, let's read the questions. It's saying that k is one of the zeros. Well, we just figured out if there was a 7 in front, it's not the 0, it's just a number in front. So that's out. The function has at least 3k zeros. Well, this number, that means that if this number was a 7 and you multiply it by 3, there are now 21 zeros. Well, we said there's only 3 zeros. There's 3 x-intercepts. So that one's out. This one says that 1, 4, and -3 are the zeros. No, because that's -1, 4, and -3. So that one's out. This, again, keeps talking about the constant. So now it's saying that if my constant was 7, this would be 4 times 7, 28, and this would be -21. Well, those aren't my zeros. These are my zeros. Okay. Now it's saying these are my zeros. Oh, okay. So it's E. So obviously it can't be F because I just picked E. All right. Let's look at the next question. So if they're saying this is a factor, if I know it's a factor, if I set it equal to 0, I can get the zeros. So x equals -2. Remember last chapter how you had to write the zeros as a point? So that would be -2, 0. Where if you look here, this is 0, 2. This is 2, 0. This is 0, -2. And this is -2, 0. Therefore, -2, 0 matches letter D. Okay, the next one is saying if there's a remainder when you divide. Now you have two options. You can do long division or synthetic division. I prefer synthetic division, so that's what I'm going to do. They're saying take this and divide it by that. So I'm going to put a 2, because I always set it equal to 0, do my backwards L. 1, 6, -h, and 14. Draw my line, bring it down. When I bring it down, I get a 1. Now remember, when I go this way, I multiply. When I go this way, I add. 2 times 1 is 2. This way, I add. 2 times 8 is 16. Uh-oh. If I write 16 minus h, I don't know about you, but that just looks super uncomfortable. So I'm guessing they want us to find h. That's what they want. So I'm going to see if they gave us any other information. They did. They told us that the remainder was 32. If I know the remainder was 32, that means I can figure out what number would go here. Because when we go from here to here, we add. So that would be 18. So then I have to figure out what number goes here. Well, I know that when I go this times this, I get this. So 2 times 9 works. Now I have to figure out what would be the value of h. So when I have that, adding 16, I get 9. So even though it is -7 plus 16 is 9, there's already a negative there. So your h is just 7. Because if I just put a 7 in there, -7 plus 16 is 9. And if you're not sure, you could do the problem again. So you could go 1, 6, -7, 14, draw your line, do your backwards L, bring it down, 2, 8, 16, 9, 18, 32. Sorry, you can't see that. I just redid it with my answer, and it worked out. So I know my answer is 7. Okay. I just want you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide, it looks like. So since there's a plus here, I'm going to add. I'll put the same together. So I always need to write it in standard form. So I'll put this one first. Let me zoom it in. So 4x cubed. Next, I'm going to go x squared. So it looks like -x squared, because there's nothing else like it. And then it looks like I've got an 8x and a -4x. 8 minus 4 is 4. And then negative 3 plus 9 is positive 6. Now let's say you have time left over during the quiz. You're going to grab a calculator, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So I didn't want to take a lot of time, but I wanted to show you how to do it. So you take 2, or any number, and you store it as x. Once you do that, you take the question, and you set it equal to the answer. I know in the question there were parentheses, but for some reason it took the parentheses out, and that's fine. The calculator knows what it's doing, I guess, okay? But I want you to be clear about the difference between minus and negative. So that is a minus x squared, where in the beginning, because it started off that way, I had to put negative x squared. So just be careful of that, okay? Let me go to the next one. The next one is the same thing as the first one, except whenever you have subtraction, change the signs of everything to the right. Now put the same together. Negative 6y squared and negative 1y squared is negative y squared. 2y plus 2y is 4y. And negative 10 and negative 10 is negative 20. And I could store it, but I'll do that another time. All right, let's go by multiplying. So I know the dimension is a 1 by 1, 2, 3. So I have a choice. I can do rainbows. 1, 2, 3. Show your work. But you know me. I'm going to do a box. I'm going to put a 1 right here for my own sanity. And then I'm going to multiply it. So I multiply negative 1 times negative 3 is 3. I add the littles. Go to the next one. Multiply the bigs. Add the littles. Go to the next one. Multiply the bigs. Add the littles. But you want to be careful because I messed with you on this one. If you look, it says 7, 10, 8. I didn't put it in standard form. Be careful that your final answer is in standard form. And if I were you, if you're going to check it in your calculator, take this and set it equal to this. Don't set it equal to this. It's not your final answer. You might make a mistake from this step to this step. All right, letter B. If this was my quiz for letter B, I might feel like I didn't have enough space. If you don't have enough space, get a pound of scratch paper. That's fine, okay? I'll try and make it. And I'm just going to rewrite it. What I like about this one, notice how I put the 1, is it goes x squared x and a number. X squared x and a number, which means the diagonals will perfectly be set up to get me the right answer. Multiply the bigs, add the littles, multiply the bigs, add the littles, multiply the bigs, add the littles. X to the fourth, x cubed, x squared. It's a pattern. Now go to the second row. So I'm covering up that and I'm focused here. Negative 3 x cubed minus 3 x squared plus 33x. X cubed, x squared, and x. It's a good way to check because I feel like it's easy to forget the x and then you'll be frustrated. So then negative 1 is 1 x squared. I'm going to put the 1 because when I'm doing a whole bunch of diagonals, it'll make my life easier. X and then minus 11. X squared, x, and then a number. All right, let me write down my answer. This is the first. Then these two are the same. Then these 3 are the same. 77 minus 73, or minus 3 is 74, plus 1 is 75. Put these together. And then minus 11. I feel like if you're going to check one, this might be a good one to check because it's very easy to make silly mistakes.